General Hospital spoilers tease that Sonny Corinthos will once again find himself the target of a merciless assault, and this time, an innocent victim will bear the heartbreaking consequences of someone else's rage. In a ruthless twist, Nina Reeves becomes the next unsuspecting casualty when the assailant strikes out at Sonny from the shadows. Sonny's heart surgery has kept the Corinthos kingpin and those around him on edge. Ever since the complex procedure that nearly cost him his life, Sonny's new lakeside manor has become a fortress under heavy guard. Yet despite the layers of protection, an enemy more cunning than any mob rival lurks close by, patient and waiting for the perfect moment. The very walls meant to shield Sonny and his loved ones will soon be shattered by a violent explosion, one that leaves Nina Reeves, his ex-wife and confidant-turned-co-conspirator, fighting for her life in the rubble of his home. Nina hasn't visited Sonny since his risky open-heart surgery. Her absence has raised eyebrows. After all, only a week ago, she was the one most desperate to see him, to plead her case, and to request his help in her vendetta against Drew Kane. Now, with Drew's betrayal fresh in her mind, Nina has stitched together alliances of convenience, alliances born from blackmail, hidden agendas, and the intoxicating promise of revenge. She and her accomplices slipped ketamine into Drew's drink, confident that the mild anesthetic would immobilize him and force him out of Griffin Gates' boardroom forever. For a moment, it seemed her plan had succeeded. Drew staggers, disoriented, as her allies cheer in the shadows. But underestimating Drew Kane's resourcefulness has always been a fatal flaw, and he turns detective with chilling precision. By tracing the hallucinatory path of ketamine through his bloodstream, Drew uncovers the betrayal. His fury is quiet but volcanic, simmering beneath composed blue eyes. Drew's mind races. Who masterminded this? Who dares to drug him and presume he will remain powerless? The answer points squarely at Nina Reeves, and he vows in that moment to strip her of everything, her freedom, her reputation, and perhaps her very life. For Nina, the specter of prison looms larger than any vendetta against Sonny. She knows that a conviction for attempted murder, or even a lesser felony, could land her behind bars for the rest of her days. Fear grips her heart, but she masks it with steel resolve. She needs Sonny's protection more than ever. And so, on a drizzly morning that casts a gray pall over Port Charles, Nina steels herself and drives to Sonny's newly renovated lakeside estate. The driveway is lined with stone lanterns whose soft glow flickers in the dampness. She clutches her umbrella as she crosses the yard toward the front door, her every step echoing with the weight of her desperation. She intends to beg Sonny's mercy, to persuade him to protect her from Drew's wrath, and perhaps to bribe him into a reluctant alliance once more. But fate, it seems, has a darker script in store. Inside his home, Sonny is elsewhere, writing out a meeting with his security chief in town, oblivious to Nina's approach. She hadn't dared call ahead, determined to surprise him before he could second-guess her motives. Only when she reaches the front portico does she dial his number, her heart fluttering as she hears his deep, familiar voice. "Nina," he asks, weariness and warmth mingling in his tone. She teases him gently about being elusive, but her words catch in her throat when a distant rumble shakes the windows. The sky seems to deepen in hue, as if warning the world that calamity approaches. Sonny promises he'll be home in minutes and cuts the call short, his protective instincts ignited. Moments later, the explosion rends the air. A deafening blast shatters the morning calm, and a fireball erupts from the far wing of the house. Plumes of smoke curl into the sky, acrid and black as if consumed by some foul serpent. Neighbors rush from behind hedges, horrified screams tearing through the mist. In the midst of chaos, Nina reels backward, thrown off balance by the concussive force. Her umbrella snaps in half. Splinters of glass rain around her like deadly hail. She collapses to her knees, chest heaving, as debris dances across the lawn. One slim shard of metal finds its mark in her thigh, drawing a gasp of pain. Sonny arrives seconds later, tireless in his resolve. His black sedan spins to a stop on the gravel drive. He leaps out, suit jacket flapping, eyes blazing with a cocktail of rage, fear, and disbelief. He charges through the towers of smoke and flame, heedless of the danger. The front door lies in splinters. The interior is a chaos of broken furniture, scorched wallpaper, and choking dust. Amid the wreckage, he finds her, Nina Reeves, pale, gasping, and on the brink of unconsciousness. He kneels beside her, his massive frame shielding her from further harm. Blood seeps through her designer coat. Sonny's hands, usually so adept at commanding power and meting out punishment, now tremble as he presses gauze to her wound. He calls for paramedics on his phone, his voice tight with emotion. Every second stretches into an eternity. Finally, distant sirens wail, a cruel reminder of the cost of this war. In the ambulance, Nina drifts in and out of consciousness. Sonny rides alongside her stretcher, his eyes never leaving her face. He cradles her hand, brushing back her hair as if she were his own daughter. Guilt twists in his gut. He had vowed to protect everyone in his circle, and he has failed. He thinks of Willow, their teenage daughter, waiting at home, unaware of the dark turn her life is about to take. Sonny clenches his jaw, vowing that the shadowy attacker who dared to strike at his heart and at those he cares for will pay dearly. As dawn bleeds into day, the Corinthos mansion has become a crime scene. The streets of Port Charles hum with police cars, flashing lights painting the trees red and blue. Reporters jostle for position beyond the yellow tape. Inside, the house reeks of burnt wood and scorched memories. Sonny surveys the destruction, photos of better times charred on the mantel, priceless paintings now blackened relics. His rage simmers beneath controlled breaths. He summons Jordan Ashford, the unwavering head of PCPD, demanding answers and demanding action. Jordan meets his gaze with professionalism tinged with pity. "We're doing everything we can, Mr. Corinthos," she says. He's not fooled. Months of investigations have yielded nothing. No fingerprints on the bomb casing, no eyewitnesses, no camera footage of the suspect. The killer is a phantom, striking at will and vanishing into Port Charles's labyrinthine alleys. Sonny's reputation as a mob boss shields many secrets, but the killer's cryptic signature hints at something more personal, someone who knows Sonny too well. Meanwhile, at General Hospital, Nina Reeves battles for her life in the ICU. Doctors work through the night to stabilize her, repairing her wounded leg, treating smoke inhalation, monitoring her for internal injuries. Nina's world is a blur of tubes and monitors. Every beep marks her tenuous grip on survival. She drifts into fevered dreams of betrayal and violence, visions of Drew Kane's cool stare flashing through her mind. She wakes to find Sonny by her bedside, exhaustion etched into his features. He refuses to leave, sleeping in the stiff guest chair, his presence a silent vow that he will see her through this ordeal. Willow Corinthos, back at home, senses the change before the calls come. Her phone rings late in the night. It's Jocelyn, frantic. "Willow, you need to come to the hospital. It's about your mom." Willow's world collapses. She races out in tears, the city lights a blur through her windshield. At the hospital entrance, she finds Sonny carrying Nina on a gurney, her pale face ghostly in the glow of overhead lights. For a heartbeat, Willow believes Nina is dead, then Sonny catches her eye and forces a nod. She's alive, for now. Willow collapses into his arms, sobbing, her grief a torrent unleashed. In the days that follow, Sonny launches his own counteroffensive. He returns to his empire, his ports, clubs, warehouses, demanding loyalty and information. His lieutenants watch him warily. Sonny's usually restrained, careful. Now he's a predator driven by grief and fury. He orders Danny, his consigliere, to dig up every scrap of intel on Drew Kane's movements. He tasks Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri, once united by marriage, now bonded by purpose, to monitor Drew's every call, every bank transfer, every whispered meeting. They comb through emails, GPS pings, and surveillance footage. Every lead ends in a dead end, until a single clue emerges. The bomber's device contained a tiny fragment of circuit board stamped with a logo tied to one of Drew's shell corporations. Sonny's eyes burn at the revelation. He confronts Drew in the Corinthos compound's shadowy courtyard. Drew stands calm, poker-faced. The moonlight slicks off his dark hair. "You tried to kill my mom," Sonny says quietly. Drew's lips curl into a faint smile. "Your mom," he whispers. "She tried to kill me first. You're both pawns in a game you barely understand." He turns away, but Sonny grabs his shoulder, twisting him around. "You touched her, and you'll pay," Sonny vows. The tension crackles like electricity between them. Guards hover at the edges, uneasy in the charged atmosphere. Before Drew can respond, Nina appears, supported by Willow on one side, Carly Spencer on the other. She's pale but determined, her leg in a brace. "Enough," she demands, voice steady despite the pain. "Stop this madness." Sonny and Drew both stiffen, their eyes locked on her. Nina takes a trembling breath. She looks at Drew. "I poisoned you," she admits, voice cracking. "I was desperate. I would do anything to bring you down. But you don't have to destroy me for it." Drew's face hardens. "Doesn't that make me a monster to you?" Nina asks, tears pooling in her eyes. "No," Willow interjects, weaker than her usual confident tone, but unwavering. "You saved my mom's life." Sonny lowers his fists, torn between vengeance and sorrow. Drew steps back, eyes flickering with conflict. In that charged moment, a fragile truce is brokered, not through hugs or forgiveness, but through a shared acknowledgement that they are all ensnared in a cycle of violence they must somehow break. Yet peace is fleeting in Port Charles. Later that night, Dawn of Justice, Sonny's trusted enforcer, intercepts a cryptic message on a burner phone. "The next strike will be personal. The daughter will bleed." It's unsigned, but the threat is unmistakable. Sonny reads it under the dim light of his office, fists clenched on the desk. He calls Willow to his side. "I won't let them hurt you," he promises. Willow nods, though fear shadows her eyes. Carly offers to move Willow to a safe house. Alex Marek and Franco Baldwin volunteer to stand guard. For once, the Corinthos world unites against a common enemy. In the early hours, as the rest of the Corinthos inner circle sleeps, an unseen intruder scales the perimeter wall of the safe house. The air is still, charged with impending violence. Inside, Willow tosses in her makeshift bed, dreams haunted by images of the explosion, the shards of glass, her mother's fall, Sonny cradling Nina's head. She wakes to a flash of lightning. A shadow creeps along the hallway. Willow's heart pounds. She grabs her phone to call for help, but the battery is dead. The door handle rattles. Then, a voice she recognizes all too well. "Can we talk, Willow?" Her blood turns to ice at the familiar accent. The corridor's dim light reveals Drew Kane, stepping into view, eyes soft but determined. Behind him stands Nina, alive, unhurt, safe. Willow stares, confusion warping her features. "What is this?" she whispers. Drew offers a hand. "Trust me," he says. "I helped your mom fake her death." Silence follows, broken only by the ticking of the wall clock. The camera of fate zooms out on these broken souls, all bound by love, treachery, fear, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice in Port Charles. As the dawn light bleeds through the curtains, one thing is certain. In the labyrinth of lies and betrayals that is General Hospital, alliances will shift once more, and the Corinthos family will rise stronger if they survive this next revelation.